Well, it's been raining here in deep South Texas, and it's supposed to rain all day today and all day tomorrow, and I had plans to get a garden update in. It stopped sprinkling here for a little bit, so I'm rushing out to the garden to try to get that done. Hi, this is Larry from deep South Texas. We're having an amazing garden year, and I want to give you an update on how we're doing. We're having a fairly mild winter here this year, and because of that I was able to get my tomatoes and peppers in on February 2nd. So they've been in the ground now 2 weeks, and looking out I see no freezing temperatures, so I think we're going to be okay. So I also have some cucumbers planted, and they're doing well. They're flowering and even have a couple small female flowers on them. Let's take a closer look. So here are some of my peppers. They've grown quite a bit since they were planted 2 weeks ago. We even have one jalapeno that's got a couple jalapenos on it right now. Actually, it's got 3 of them on it right now. That's pretty amazing. Actually, I should really take those off, but I'm going to let them go. But the peppers are looking nice and happy. And cucumbers, I planted 3 cucumber plants, and 2 of them are flowering and looking real nice. And one of them, at least one of them's got some female flowers on. Let's get a closer look from the other side. So, my first cucumber. Happy to see that. And there are a couple more on this plant. So, looking good. They're climbing up the trellis. And some more pepper plants over here. These are what I call the wreath peppers. They're doing well. And here are my Biltmore tomatoes. Again, these were planted into the garden 2 weeks ago. They're looking good. And some celebrity tomatoes in this bed. They're also looking great. They've at least doubled in size, maybe tripled in size since they were planted. And the beefsteak tomatoes. The carrots are doing great. We've been picking carrots now for the last month and enjoying those. Let's see if I can... my wife somehow managed to find all the big ones. Every time I try, I just get a small one. So let's pull one up here and see what we get. Yeah, kind of small. We'll try for another one here. My wife does a much better job. Anyway, they'll work. We have been picking peas, but they pretty much slowed down. And although they're still flowering and still putting on some peas, I kind of want to use this trellis for green beans. So they'll be coming out next week. And these over here as well. There were peas on this trellis, and I took them out last week and planted some green beans in here, and they are just now starting to come up. So there's one right there. Can hardly see it. Anyway, time to get the green beans in so we can harvest those before it gets too hot. So I have a different variety of pea on this trellis, and I want to let these go and get big so I can collect some seed off of these for next year. I think I used up all the seed I had for these. This variety goes really tall. It's a little bit later than the other ones, which were Oregon sugar pods, I think. But once they started putting out peas, they were pretty prolific. The broccoli has been doing great. I've harvested most of the broccoli have had their initial harvest. There are a couple here yet that were a little bit more shaded that are still coming on, but the rest of the broccoli are starting to put on their side shoots, so we're still getting a harvest off of them, but I really am starting to need the space. Particularly I want the space in this bed here. I have some tomatoes that when I thinned out the tomatoes from my seed starting system, I just poked those into some extra sponges, and they're growing, and they're ready to be planted in the garden, but I wasn't really counting on having them, and now I've got them. I need a place to put them, so I think I'm going to put them in this bed this week as well. Again, this broccoli has all had the initial heads harvested, and now it's got these side shoots coming on. So we'll get another harvest off of those and then take them out. The banana trees from last year have been cut down, and now we're just waiting to select the pups that we want for this year's trees, and we have several to choose from at this point, and hopefully we'll get that all taken care of this week as well. So it's February 9th, and my bananas are starting to turn yellow. They're not quite ripe yet. I cut one hand off right there and brought it inside, so they're not quite ripe. You could eat it, but they'll get a little bit sweeter. But they're starting to split. And that's kind of attracting insects of some kind. So today I'm going to try to cut this bunch down and bring it inside to finish ripening up. I've also been taking out the rest of my banana trees, and once this bunch is out, I'll take out this banana tree as well. And I'm trying to save one pup from sort of each position where I had a tree last year to grow a tree for next year. So one of these two pups here I'm going to save, and I've got one I'm going to save there, and this one over here I'm going to save as well. They'll be next year's or this year's trees, 2024 trees. The dill has made a great comeback. I think that means we'll see caterpillars here shortly. And potatoes. I have 3 beds of potatoes growing, and it looks like all of the seed potatoes came up except for one. So pretty happy with how that turned out this year. Onions still growing strong. Leeks still looking good. Onions from seeds, they're still looking good as well. So I have cabbages ready to harvest as well. These here are the early Jersey Wakefield, and this one is ready to come out. Actually, a couple of them are, and because we're getting so much rain, I kind of want to get one or two of these out today, so I don't want to see them splitting on me. So this is what we're going to do next. We're going to harvest this cabbage. Okay, let's harvest our first cabbage for the year. There we go. The chickens will get these outside leaves and the rest of the plant there, and they'll be happy. But this is going in for the cook. We'll have to weigh it and see what we've got. Well, there's a quick garden tour between the raindrops. Everything is looking good. Harvested our first cabbage today. Been harvesting broccoli for quite some time and carrots for quite some time. We have lots of onions in the ground, and it's looking pretty hopeful for tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it that thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.